but be realistic in what your resolutions are. And do the important ones, things that are going to change you, make you better, make the people around you better. When you can make the people around you better, when you're a source of enlightenment and encouragement to people, you'll see how satisfying that could be. It changes everything. Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good, very blessed on this end. And as always, we give God all the praise, honor, and glory for that, especially at this time of the year. Really do hope everybody is doing well. We're wrapping it up. This is going to be my last YouTube video for 2022. And I want to really thank everybody. I had a lot of support this year from many of you, in a number of different things that I've tried. I want to thank all of you for supporting us in Franzese Wine. Many of you have subscribed. My book, Mafia Democracy, so satisfying. The comments that I've gotten. It was a bestseller, is a bestseller, I should say, on Amazon and a few other platforms. Mob Ties, my newest platform, really got off to a bang at the end of this year. Really looking forward to things next year. If you haven't jumped on, go to mobtiesmovement.com. But what I want to go through now, a lot of you have been, struggling this year. Whenever we look back, some of us look back and say, wow, we lost someone that we loved. It's been a tough year financially. It's been a tough year health-wise. And we look back and some of us had a really difficult year. And what could we say other than that we feel for you, and we really do hope and pray that 2023 is better. We really do mean that. But life is life, and every year we have our ups and downs and our heartaches and our failures and our successes, and that's just what life is all about. I always say this, our God never promised us heaven and earth. He promised us heaven and heaven. But He did promise to all of us that believe that He'll be there and He'll have our backs. And He certainly has had my back through all my struggles and challenges. But we have something to do with that too. We have a free will. And the way we want to approach life is really up to us, people. It's not up to anyone else. It's up to us. There's a quote that I see all the time in schools when I go speak to young people. And it's on the wall, and I see it all the time. You can be anything that you want to be. Just follow your dreams. And I tell the students, that's not true. You can't always be anything that you want to be. Case in fact, if I could have been what I wanted to be as a kid growing up, I idolized Mickey Mantle. I was a huge Yankee fan. I still am. I wanted to play center field for the New York Yankees. That was my dream. There was only one problem. I was a pretty good ball player. I wasn't good enough to play for the Yankees or to play center field. So that was my dream, but my talent and ability didn't match that. No matter how hard I tried, I just didn't have it. I knew that. And you can't say, well, just try it and you'll make it. No, some of us just don't have that talent, to be a professional athlete. We just don't. But that doesn't mean we can't succeed in something else, because every one of us have a gift or a talent that we can develop into something in life. Remember that. So don't be depressed when you can't make it to some place that you want to be. That dream might be unrealistic. So don't follow it if it's unrealistic, Do what you do best. That's what you need to do in life. Find out what it is, what your passion is, and go for it. That you can do. And work hard at it. So I want to read a couple of quotes, and I want to comment on them. I want to see what you have to, say about it. Please message me. When I talk, this is a collaboration a lot. I give you things, you give me back. And I look at the messages. I don't answer everything. And people, I want to say this. I don't answer everything, not because I don't want to answer everything. First of all, I can't read them all. I get hundreds and hundreds of messages every day on all my social media platforms. I can't answer them all. I can't read them all. And sometimes I don't answer them because then other people get upset with me for not answering theirs. And then I'd be spending 24 hours a day just answering messages. So please understand, I do read them at times. I can't read them all, I'm being honest with you. But if I don't answer you, don't be insulted. because there's no, I'm not shunning you in any way. I just can't do it. It's not possible. But let me read some of these quotes. And these are the end of the year quotes and encouraging quotes allegedly going into the new year. So we're all going into 2023. Hopefully we have positive thoughts, positive aspirations, and we're going to approach it that way because there's no other way. There's no other way. If you're going to be down and out at this point in time, well then, you already defeated yourself before you even have a new start. So let me read some of these quotes, and there's thousands of them. I won't go through them, but these caught my eye. Number one, the greatest story in living lies not in never failing, but in rising every time we fail or every time we fall. I totally believe in that. Totally believe in that. It's not always the act that gets us down, it's how we react to the act. We're going to go through struggles. We're going to go through trials. We're going to go through tribulations. Some of them brought on us. We don't bring it on ourselves. How we react to them is really what's important. If we get ourselves down and we're defeated by it, well, then you lose. But if you pick yourself up, I just did something on Frank Sinatra, that's life. Every time I find myself flat on my face, what do? I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's what old Blue Eyes said. And that's what you have to do. If you want to make it, you got to just keep picking yourself up. Every time you fall down, every time you're hit with a challenge, hopefully it's not a health challenge that you just can't overcome, but every other thing in life, you just got to go at it. You got to try to defeat it. And you got to do your best. It's just the way it goes. So I believe in that quote. Next, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. I agree with that. Procrastination is one of the worst things in life. Now, sometimes I procrastinate, I'll be honest with you. There's something I don't want to do or I don't like doing, I procrastinate, but I'm 71 years old, I can do it. Throughout most of my life, I kind of took things head on and got them done. If you want to do something, stop talking about it and start it. We're going to be teaching that in Mob Ties, by the way. Get going in life. Don't sit there and wait for something to happen. Don't procrastinate and stop talking. Start doing. Put your thoughts in action. You'll see what happens. 3, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. I like that. Sometimes, look, we hear it all the time. This person is doing well. That person is doing great. I wish I had that. I wish I had this. Where does that get you? If it motivates you to want to get those same things for yourselves, great. To look at somebody and say, oh, I'd like to live like that. And then it motivates you to put the work in, to do what you need to do to get to that level. That's okay. But don't live vicariously through someone else's life. The Kardashians, so many young women are living through their lives. And you know what? Doesn't make sense, doesn't pay, it's not going to get you anywhere. You're never going to be the Kardashians by trying to live through their life. Live your own. Be the best possible you that you can be. Very important. Another one. If life were predictable, it would cease to be life and be without flavor. Well, that's true. Life is very unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen. These poor people that went away for the holidays, they get hit with a bomb cyclone, and before you know it, they're trapped in an airport for 3 days without clothing because they can't find their luggage. Life is very unpredictable. We cannot predict anything. It's very uncertain. Only the things that we control, we can predict. But when things hit you from out of the way, what do? You have to get around them. You have to deal with them. You have to bounce back. You can't let them get you down. So just understand that. Life is going to throw curveballs all the time. There's a saying that, we make plans and God laughs about it because we just don't know what's happening in life. Maybe from day to day we understand, but, over a period of time, who knows? We don't know what 2023 is going to bring. We really don't. There's so much uncertainty in the world. Are you going to sit down and worry about it? Or are you going to continue to do your own thing and control the things that you can control? If you find yourself controlling what you can control, you'll live a lot better life. Trust me. The things that are out of your control, you just deal with them as they come as best you can. Success is no accident. Well, I think that's pretty elementary, people. Those people that I know that have been successful, they work very hard. There's no question about it. Any success I had didn't come easy. When I was on the street, I had to work hard as a mobster. When I'm here now as a family man, I have to do the same. Nothing is easy. Nobody throws things at me. It's not put in my lap. You got to go out and work for it, and you all know that. And listen, if you're not an entrepreneur, don't worry about it. If that's not your calling in life, don't worry about it. You might be the best possible worker in whatever field you're in that you are. So do it to the limit. Make it work for you, But success in anything is measured by, for me, yeah, money is always part of it, because what does money do? It makes you comfortable. Pay your bills, go out to eat, go on vacation, wear some decent clothes. It's important to have money because we live in a world where money is traded for value in things, and we need it, and comfort, and a lot of things. But, measure your success by your happiness, by how people deal with you, by your family. Those are the things that are successful in life. Don't count the days, make the days count. Oh, man, I believe in that. Some people sit around and say, I can look at that now, man. My days are getting limited. 71 years old, who knows how many I have left? So every day has to count. Sometimes me and my wife are a little bit upset with each other, and I always tell her, hey, this day's going to pass us by, and we're never going to get it back. Let's get over it. We agree and we move on, You feel that way when you get older. When you're young, I got so much time ahead of you, You'll be surprised, All of a sudden you're looking back and you're going to say, where did all the time go? So don't count the days, make every day count. So important. And he who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. And I agree with that. They have to be calculated risks, some silly things, I'm hearing about people, I can't tell you how many times I've read this. Somebody trying to take a selfie on a cliffside and they fall off and they die. I mean, that's a silly risk. Why would you want to go anywhere near the hillside? I mean, take a few steps in and take the selfie. You're going to get the same panoramic view, I'm sure. That's a silly risk. Calculated risks are important. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, there's so many different situations, but you have to assess the situation and say, what's my chance of success here before you take that risk? Not that you just, do anything crazy, calculated risk. What's my chance of success? What's my chance of making this happen? Okay, I'm going to take the risk because I think this is going to work. And if it doesn't, hey, you took your chance. But you didn't lose too much. You don't gamble the house every single time unless I used to say this, I thought Michael Jordan had a gambling problem. I said, you know what, he's got a problem. He gambles like crazy. But you know what? He said something that really made me think. He said, I don't have a gambling problem. I have a competition problem. And you know what? He's right. Because Michael doesn't gamble his life away. He gambles for pleasure. But he can afford to take that risk because he's wealthy. He's got a lot of money. And he doesn't ever gamble everything that he has. So when he gambles, it's a calculated risk. He enjoys it. It's fun. It's not going to change his life in any way. That's an example of a calculated risk. And I believe that. He has a competition problem because he doesn't take a big risk when he's gambling. He's not going to lose everything. So you got to be careful, when you take a risk. But if you don't ever take a risk in life, forget it. You're not going to get anywhere. Everybody that's wealthy, everybody that's successful, they've taken risks. And they've won and they've lost. But I guarantee you, it's been all calculated risks. And this is the last one for now. I mean, we can go through this forever. Don't wait for opportunity, create it. Well, listen, people. If you can sit around and wait for something to happen, it may never happen. You got to make your way in life. And I do believe that you create opportunities for yourself. Networking, so important. The people that you meet, the places that you go to, the ideas that come into your head. You got to create opportunities in life. And sometimes they'll come to you, but if you don't act on them, well, what good is it? So if an opportunity comes your way and you acted on it, well, you created that opportunity to work for you. So I agree with that. So listen, going into 2023, you're all going to sit down. You're going to say, I have a New Year's resolution. What are the normal ones? Well, I'm going to get to the gym. I'm going to trim down. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to do all of that. And, so often it's funny in the gyms, you know how that goes. January and February, very busy. March, everything starts to taper off because people do it for 2 months and that's it. When I started to work out, honestly, it took me years because my mind wasn't ready yet. I just said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it until I'm ready because I know I'll start and I'll stop. But when I was ready, mentally, emotionally prepared, well, then I got into it and I stuck with it. So, think about 2023. What is it that you can do to make yourself better? What can you do? How can you improve yourself? You know, it's not a bad idea to sit down and really write out these resolutions. Put them on your cell phone, in your notes, whatever you do. Write them out, and don't write anything that you're not going to do. You know, think about it, because if you start to do 1 or 2 or 3 and you see that you're doing things, well, then maybe you could add on a little bit, but be realistic in what your resolutions are. And do the important ones, things that are going to change you, make you better, make the people around you better. You know, it's important, but for those of us that need to change in 2023, it's important that you do it now. We don't know what's going to happen in this year. It could be another tough year. Hopefully things will get better for us, you know, here in the United States and around the world, wherever you might be listening to this. In a different country, you might have, you know, situations similar to the United States, maybe different, I don't know. Things are worldwide crazy at this point in time, in my view. Just sit down and be committed to make yourself better. I really mean that, to make the people around you better. When you can make the people around you better, when you're a source of enlightenment and encouragement to people, you'll see how satisfying that could be. It changes everything. It really does, changes everything. So, listen, I just want to thank everybody for the support that you've given me. Look, I will say this, and it's not, there's no ego involved in this, but we're approaching 1 million subs on YouTube in just a little over 2 years. And when I look at YouTube channels, that's a pretty, you know, it's a pretty good feat. It's a pretty good accomplishment. And why did that happen? I can't explain it. You know, you just enjoyed the content and people tuned in. You know, I appreciate that because you have a lot of choices on YouTube. The fact that you chose to, you know, subscribe to mine and to view mine, we have so many viewers. I really appreciate it. So it's really a thank you to all of you for supporting me in that way. We have a lot of things coming up this year. Television series, I believe, is going to go into production. This is a crazy industry, but it looks like it's happening. A stage play that, you know, looks like it's going to begin in London, you know, next year at some point in time. Again, crazy business, who knows in this life, but that's the plan at this point in time. Looks like it's happening. I will continue to review Tulsa King. People are liking that. We'll do our mob movie Mondays. They may end up on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but we'll continue doing the reviews. And that's about it. So we're going to continue on YouTube. Again, I want to thank all of you for being such loyal followers. We appreciate it very much. And that's it for the new year. So enjoy New Year's Eve. Don't do anything silly. Don't drink too much. You know what, people? I don't look to go out on New Year's Eve anymore. I just want my family. We want to be home. We want to bring the new year in together. My grandmother and father started a great tradition, you know, way back when I was a kid. Everybody had to be together at 12 o'clock when the new year came in. After that, you can do what you want. When I was in New York, we used to go out after 12 into the city, you know, with my dad, and we had a great time, you know, when I was young. It was wonderful. But here, things kind of calm a little bit. We just want to be together. So wishing all of you a very, very happy new year and a blessed 2023. I really mean that. Let the old year go out right. Bring the new year in right. And that's it. So how do I always leave you? Very same way. Be safe, especially this weekend. Be safe. Watch out for those people that are drinking too much on the road. Stay away. Drunken driving, something I don't like at all. Nobody likes it, but I just can't tolerate it. Be safe. Be healthy. Get that New Year's resolution and stick to it. It'll make a difference in your life. When you feel good, everything changes. Be safe. Be healthy. God bless every one of you. And people, if God is not in your life, what are you waiting for? You know, what a difference it makes in not only my life, but in so many people's life. Gives you hope, gives you something to live for. It's real. Get into your Bible. I'm telling you, I'm encouraging you. Be safe, be healthy. God bless all of you. And yes, I'll see you next year. Take care.